Ladies and gentlemen of the Bait Finesse System world. So I was asked, I did a previous video, but I started getting long-winded and it just doesn't do me any favors. So I was asked to elaborate on why I like my BFS rig. Full disclosure, I did not buy it. It was bought for me by a friend. My friend James found a deal on Amazon, got 2 of them. It is a KastKing Zephyr. It's a 6/8 to 1, 6+1 bearing, skeletonized shallow spool. I hold 85 yards of 6-pound fluorocarbon on it. I can take a 1/20th TRD head and TRD Ned bait and throw it 60 to 80 feet without any effort whatsoever. And I mean that literally. It's retarded. It is a 7'2". The 2-piece starts right after the first. First one is a standard first for a baitcaster. The rest of them are all micro guides. It is very light. I can hold this all day long. I have no issues with it. I don't have any issues with comfort with the skeletonized grip. It has a flat on the top for thumb or finger, however you choose to hold it, and it is angled on the bottom for multiple types of grip. And the cork accent is kind of a nice feel touch. Split grip. It's just long enough for good torque on the forearm when you need the extra grip when you're fighting. It's got the trigger. It's recessed up to the blank, so you feel a lot. It's got 2 tips. One is a medium and one is a light. In the world of BFS, this would be considered a medium heavy BFS rig, even though it is a medium with a light tip option. He got them for $103 on Amazon on special. Typically the 2 together would be right around a couple $100. It is a Spartacus 2 rod. There is a Zephyr version of a BFS rod for this reel, but this combination gives you a little bit of versatility and weight range to a higher extent. With BFS, as we all know, you can get a lot of distance with them, but the objective with the BFS is micro-sized lure casting ability with ease and placement above all else. But I use it for a combination. I am mostly Ned, and Ned is just one of those techniques that I do a lot of. And I gotta be careful because I got a fan above my head. I'm gonna get into the pack that I carry for Ned. Again, I did all this before, but I just went way long-winded, so bear with me. I always have some form of super glue. I kind of like this one because there's a pack that I have with my Ned heads and my drop shot heads and all that I keep this in. When I go crappie fishing, this goes in my pack for my crappie stuff, along with a lighter. I have Fish Sticks shad flavor. It is anise oil, shad, actually pureed shad, and salt in a petroleum base. I have it wrapped in the paper towel and in the bag to resist heat because it decides to melt, which is not groovy at all. I have a brand that I really actually like despite the cost. Rains. I have it in the natural earthworm. These are the Ned worm. They do classify them as a worm and not just a Ned. I have Nick Wilson's Neds, the Molten Craw. I also keep a box of Minesweepers stuff. And my friend gave me a bunch of tubes. These are the smaller ones. I have the BKK. Well, actually, that one is the TRD one. And there's the BKK 1/16 head. If I'm gonna send out a non-TRD Ned lead head, it's gonna be a BKK because it's tungsten as well. I do know that there's local ones that are made. I know that they're perfectly good. I've used them. There are lead heads that I get made for crappie and bass as well that I get made by Matthew Picklesimmer of AZ Leadworks, who is a friend of mine and a phenomenal customer service person, and generally just a really badass all-around blue-collar kind of guy. So I know that there's some bulk heads that I'm probably going to end up getting from somebody else. That is not an affront to Matthew in any way. It just simply is me trying to get bulk and not have to bother him because he does a lot of stuff. But when it comes to standard heads, lead heads and whatnot, 1/64 all the way up through like 1/8, 1 1/4 on some things, I do tend to go to Matthew because he gets it kicked out the door real quick, and his customer service is second to none. And of course, I also have my complement of TRDs. Now I've been away from Bassin for a while. I've been doing mostly crappie, so I don't have all my colors back up yet, but I always keep a finger in the butt surprise color, usually the bubblegum pink. I always have black and blue, which is a phenomenal, one of my two favorites. My other one is Junebug, I do not have right now. And then my third favorite is the Molten Craw. Why do I do TRDs? I'll get to that in a second. That was another question I was asked, but I want to get to these other couple things. I have started using the Fat Pack Little Bat fairly extensively. I've still got quite a few of them from Fat Pack Baits here in Arizona. And the reason is, if I can get it out of the pack, I put it in the front pocket. It's the worst mistake I ever made. All right, Little Bat, being a little bit abusive here. Out. Hello. Excuse me for a second. It's being very resistant. I know you're in there. Get the fuck out. You're not stuck, fucker. There we go. All right. I don't know why I got stuck. Maybe I'll put it in one of the bags. Okay. I love the BKK heads. This is a 1/16, but it's a flat, and then it's a collar on this, okay? It is I think a 1/0. The Little Bat mates perfectly to that head, whether it's a 1/8 or 1/16. I prefer the 1/16 because the Little Bat is such a heavy bait. Despite its buoyancy, this thing casts like a bullet, okay? I tend to cast this on my Finesse Nexcalibur rod. It's a hand build, but it like a bullet on this BFS. It is absolutely astonishing to see. The other brand that I really like, even though it's still fairly expensive, is Jackal's Yummy Fish 3-inch Neds. I really like the Chartreuse Green Pumpkin. There's a couple other colors that I get. I use those on TRD heads as well. BKKs are a little bit too wide for those. I also get 6th Sense Green Pumpkin Shindig 3.2. It's still in that 3-inch size. This is straight standard Green Pumpkin, dark. Out of all the Neds that I throw, my favorite is the TRDs because, well, they're TRDs. But the problem is that there's certain places that I want to cast that I cannot reach with TRD. Enter the BKK and the Little Bat. The South African Special, this color with this flake, during the nighttime, holy shit, it gets hit. At that point in time, it's more about profile than color, but it really, really stands out. Really stands out in the dark. I'm not sure how exactly dynamic physics-wise that is, but it also, since it's buoyant and heavy, it stands up and it weighs quite a bit. It's not quite so jiggly as a TRD. When it comes to canals, I only use Neds now. It's all I use on canals because my highest amount of catch rate has been on Neds, and 99% of what I throw is TRD when it comes to the canal. I do that because of the fact that the results speak for themselves to me. I also, of course, have my full complement of my Neds, and my other bag right here is all of my drop shot. And I'm going to get to that in a second about drop shot, because there is something I need to say. I really should not put that back in there. I'm going to be smart and put it in my Jackals because it's plasticine and it will not melt it. TRDs melt other plastics. TRD 101. Z-Man plastics will melt other plastics. But they don't last in the sun, go figure. Well, I think it's fucking hilarious, but I still love the products. Alright. I keep small bags because I like to put them all in my car, get out the door, take what I need. If I go on a longer walk, say 4 miles plus, I'll take the whole bag, okay? I can put this on a belt loop if I have a pair of pants with belt. I do not currently have that, but I will be doing that at that point. And then I have everything on hand. When it's shorter distance, up to about 3 miles, I will just take what I need out and put them in my cargo pockets and be good to go. Now, drop shot. You can throw them on BFS. They work very well, just as well as Ned's. The dynamic is a little different. I despise drop shot. I despise drop shot with a passion because everybody uses it, but it works. I despise drop shot, but I have 4 videos on it. Go figure. It works. But the same reason that I love using drop shot, the results, is also why I hate drop shot, because everybody fucking uses it. But my way of being with Ned and drop shot is that I use as natural color as I can, depending on what colors they are, and very rarely will use the outlandish colors, okay, like the pinks and bright oranges and whatnot like that. I do recognize that some water clarities kind of necessitate that you use a more outlandish color, but my best results, especially in canals, has been with a darker natural color. It's a little bit different with crappie, of course, and I have the appropriate gear for that. I use products from Nick Wilson, Arizona Custom, Fat Pack, 5150, one other guy that I can't remember I bought from like once or twice, and then the couple of the store brands, Minesweeper's another one, and Matthew from 90% of my lead. I believe in smaller persons. When it comes to crappie and panfish stuff, it is now Badass Baits, and I've always carried Raymond Ramirez stuff, Rocky Mountain Custom Jigs. His hand ties are brilliant. His hand pours are phenomenal. Do not hesitate to look him up, and you should be good to go. I can throw the crappie stuff that I get from them on this BFS. I just choose not to because I go slightly heavier with the nets. It's the only reason.